Alright guys, so for this next video, to continue the theme here, I had the video that introduced the two jade plants that I had, or have, and I just did a video on pruning the crassula ovata. Now I'm going to do the portulacaria afra, the elephant bush, and this one's probably not going to require that much pruning. May or may not. I think the main one I wanted to do was just to get rid of that really straight branch that goes off into the angle. You can kind of see it right there. I want to prune that off and get that started. For the crassula, I'll probably sell most of the cuttings, but for this one I kind of want to keep all of them. The smaller cuttings I'm going to grow in the same pot, kind of make it into a bush. Just because it's edible and it's a good source of omega-3. I kind of like this plant, so I want to do a lot of bonsai on it. So we'll just jump right into it. So the first cut I'm going to make is the branch that we've been talking about, which is this one here. I can turn it a little bit so I can see, so you guys can see. I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can see it's pretty straight and it just goes up to, straight up to here. I mean, that's longer than the main trunk itself, from here to the bottom, so it doesn't look very good. Now the only thing is, do I want to take it all the way back and make it flush with this trunk, or do I want to keep a little bit of it and have branches grow out of it? So if I cut it all the way flush here, I've got this huge bare area. And that may not look that great. I could also cut it here and leave this branch, but you still got this pretty significant straight section, and then this branch is basically growing at a 90 degree angle out of the main branch, and then actually growing backwards, which is also not good. Yeah, it just doesn't look that great. So I think our only choice is to keep a small section of this and have branches grow out of there. So now we got to decide how long of a section we want to keep. Also, you can see all these little nubs here. Not sure if you can see it down here, these nubs here. I'm going to eventually cut those flush. Most of the time, if you keep a little nub like this, it'll dry up and then it'll kind of heal flush with the trunk. Those ones didn't do that, so that one kind of was a little better. So we'll have to cut that and try it again to see if it will dry on its own and fall off, or else I'm going to have to cut it flush with the trunk. Which sometimes I don't like to do, because when you cut it flush with the trunk, it dries and it sinks inwards, and then you kind of got like a little dimple there. So back to the branch. So now we decide how long of a section do we want to keep. Do we want to keep it this long? That's still pretty significant. Do we want to keep it just one node up to here? That's a little short, I think. So I'm thinking maybe right here. I think that looks pretty good. So we'll get in there and we'll cut it. And I'm cutting it just above of this old branch scar here. It's kind of harder to see on this one where the nodes are. You can kind of see it's pretty faint. So there's a light line here, 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 here. There might be one here because there's a branch in the back there. Here, here. The nodes are pretty tight together here, which means it didn't grow that much that year. It could be due to this may be the months that it was indoors in the winter, and then it got brought out probably around here, and then the nodes got a little longer. They had more growth, and then it definitely shortened up again here. So those are probably the winter months. And you can even see here too. It could be the winter months, or it could be, if you had enough light and nutrients for it in the winter month, it'll still grow a lot. Like up here, you can see that this node is pretty long. I have it indoors, but I have it at a south-facing window, so it gets a lot of sunlight, so it's got a good growth here. But you can see these ones are really tight together. They're about 1.5, 2 millimeters apart. So it didn't get that much sun, it didn't get that much nutrients. So let's make the cut. So cut it right about there. This one is a little harder to cut because it gets woodier on the inside, so I may have to use the bypass cutters. Where did I put that? We'll just come in with bypass cutters, and I think we'll take it off right about there. There you go. I kind of don't like using bypass cutters for these because it kind of bruises the bottom section here. So I'll have to come back with a knife and take out that bruised part off. And you can see here, this makes a pretty good tree in itself, and I really like this one. It's got good ramification up here in the branches. Just needs a little bit of pruning back to get it a little bushier. I'm probably going to end up removing this branch. I don't really like that branch that low, but after removing this, you can see it's a pretty nice tree. It needs a couple branches on this side, but sorry, right there, you can see it. So it'll probably look pretty good. We'll just set that aside. Same thing with this plant as the other one. Let it callus over before you put it into the soil. Same thing, it'll probably rot. With this one, it's bruised, but I'm not gonna trim it. I'm gonna let it dry and fall off on its own. Let's see if there's any other cuts that we can make at this point in time. No, it's looking pretty good. Some other cuts I'm going to make, like this branch is too long. I'm going to bring it back to 2 nodes. I'm just going to snip it right there. Same with this one. It's a little bit long. I'm going to bring it back there. This branch is growing downwards, which is not very ideal. So I think I'm going to take that one off too. I'm just going to snip it here. Hopefully another branch grows out from that. There. This guy is already branched, but it's still a little long, so I'm going to take it back to here. And then we've got these 2 guys growing into each other. Got to decide what I want to do there. Do I want to take off this branch? Or do we want to take off this branch? I don't like them growing into each other. I think I'm going to get rid of this guy. And we've got a little branch that will be taking its place here. It's kind of growing backwards, so that one might be pruned. But I think I'm going to just take this guy off flush. This guy is getting pretty long, so let's take him off. Probably here. And remember with these guys, wherever you're pruning, if you choose the leaf, they're alternating leaves. So you'll have a set of leaves that will grow like this, and then you'll have another set on top that will grow like this. So if you want the branches to grow like out from this side, then you want to prune back to a node where it has 2 leaves growing like that. So if you have leaves growing like that and you prune it back to there, you'll have branches growing out from where the leaves are growing out. So you can kind of control the direction of the next generation of branches by how you prune. So keep that in mind. This one here, you see, this is all growth that has occurred in the past couple of weeks from the increased sunlight and increased water nutrients that I've been giving it. So that's good. I think I'm going to prune it back. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm debating if I should prune it back to 2 or 3 nodes. I think I'll do 2. Take that off there. This guy's getting pretty long also, so 2 nodes. And this guy, here's the trouble with this. You see he's growing straight left into this other branch. I'm going to prune it back to a leaf where I'm going to get a branch that kind of comes out this way instead of down and up, because there's nowhere for it to go up. So we'll find a leaf. Not sure if it's, if you guys can see it, but this leaf here seems to be good. It'll be growing out this way, hopefully. Yeah. Back to right there. You can also see that this branch here is pretty long, but it's already got some branching going on here and here. So I think we'll be fine there. Hopefully we get more branching. And then you can also see this guy doesn't have any leaves, but it's a live branch. I'm hoping something will grow from this and it'll help fill in this area, and then this will grow up and fill in that area. This guy is definitely a little long. I think I'll just take it back here for now. Same with this guy. I think I will just, I'll leave that guy. I think I want him to grow a little bit more before I prune it, so I can get some bigger cuttings. Some of these are pretty straight. This guy's pretty straight. I'm not super pleased with it, but I'm hoping we can get some branches now that this is opened up in here. We can get some branching from this and it won't look so bad. I think it's all right now. I think that's all the pruning we will do. What I will do is I will clean up these little nubs on the bottom here. Just by cutting it like that, it should dry up and fall off, and it'll be a little cleaner than what it was. But yeah, now I have a bunch of cuttings that I can make more plants out of, and I've got a more balanced tree in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I think it looks pretty good. It's a little bare on this side, and that's probably due to the branch that got cut off. It shielded the understory, the under foliage from getting light, so it's a little bare there. I'll give you guys an updated video in a few months here to see the progress of the plant. So stay tuned.